Meditation. We have seen that sadhana is necessary for those who keenly feel the impermanence and hardships of the world of sense and seek redemption from them and from the affliction of ignorance. We have also discussed the nature and results of the sadhana in general. Now we shall examine a few practical methods of meditation which are known to have helped seekers throughout the centuries to tread the same path and arrive. I wish first to remark that the failure of many people to lead their meditation to success is due to two principal causes. First is their inability to concentrate at all, let alone for any appreciable length of time, which induces some of them to resort to makeshifts or follow a guru who does not recommend meditation. This second one by far is the greater cause, for they're starting with inadequate knowledge, with hazy, improperly formed ideas about the aim and object of their meditation, which naturally results in their remaining in the cloud of uncertainty for a long time. The vast majority of beginners are in too great a haste to take to the road of meditation before seizing themselves of all its facts and principles. Who is therefore to blame if they feel at a loss to know how to meditate, how to begin meditation, or if the meditation always remains thin? It is not enough to snatch a few slogans and shut the eyes and start questioning oneself, who am I? Or suggesting to oneself, I am not the body nor the senses. A comprehensive grasp of the Master's teaching and profound reflection are absolutely necessary to endow the meditator with a prior knowledge of what he is to expect from meditation and the direction it should take, or else who is to answer his questions? For the very mind that asks them is itself the reality it is seeking, and if it has not been understood with full conviction as such, how can the meditation be clear in its objective to succeed? This is the stage when no one can help the meditator. He has to help himself by assiduous application and deep cogitation on the words of the Master in order to draw practical conclusions from them, which is itself a sort of meditation, and which in its course of time matures into the meditation, whose aim is to annihilate the vritti, the mind transformation or thoughts, which covers the reality of the self. Meditation is a self-contained process which goes on correcting itself to perfection by trials and errors in him who comes prepared for it. It somehow finds its way by the light of its own torch, catching the smallest hints that rise from within or without, and automatically acting on them without even the knowledge of the surface consciousness. The presence of the Guru is then the greatest help and must be availed of at any cost, if by then the Guru has revealed himself. If not, dwelling in holy places and clean environments is essential till the Guru is found. In fact, to those who have attained this state of maturity, the Guru does not tarry to appear somehow. They are never left in the lurch for long in that respect. He is there waiting all the time. The seeking, conscious or unconscious, is definitely mutual. Residence with the Guru during the whole period of the practice is of inestimable value. For reasons which the seeker, the sadhak, will not fail to discover by himself after passing the stage of apprenticeship and beginning to know what is what in the true spiritual life. There will be, moreover, no particular inclination on his part to return to the world, if he means business and is truly earnest. The time factor is of the utmost importance to him. He abhors being a minute longer than he can help it in this welter of vanity and superficiality and wasted efforts. He cannot afford to lead a busy life for nothing, or lead a life of lacks and be indifferent. He has by then developed a positive detachment, contemplative habits, love for seclusion and for sattvic or pure company, particularly that of the Guru. Yet the worldly mindedness which he brings with him takes a long time to be rubbed off. Its substitution by returning to being is made easy by meditative efforts, supplemented by the holiness which ceaselessly emanates from the Guru. Worldly people call this penance or tapas, of which they are very scared indeed, imagining it to call for Herculean efforts and great sacrifices. But nothing is farther from the truth. Apart from the very first steps, there exists no suffering worth mentioning for those who are seriously inclined towards it. The suffering seen by others in the tapas lies only in their own imagination. The one who is immersed in tapas himself enjoys the indescribable bliss of the inner freedom which these austerities afford, freedom from the terrible load with which the world burdens the ordinary life. The one practicing austerities has thrown down that load and is now free. The strict meaning of tapas in this path is adherence to the quest for the self. And if the self has already been realized, continued inherence in it, not allowing oneself to slip back again to the world of the senses. The one who is in true austerity is he who has in his heart and mind turned his back completely to the world. If he has not done that, domestic life is best for him. He will be freer at home than in the ashram or a temple to pursue his seeking even in the midst of his worldly affairs. It is no use being in an ashram in seclusion when the instrument through which he expects to attain peace of mind is itself disturbed by longings. It goes without saying that this has nothing whatsoever in common with the flesh and soul mortifications of the Hindu and Christian extremists, of the cave and desert hermits. The Bhagavad Gita insists on moderation in everything and on the necessity of maintaining good health and mental ease and comfort. Once the mind is cleared of the dead past, it will be amenable to adjust itself to the new conditions. The Guru, let it be at once stated, merely reveals this truth and its import to the sadhak and points the direction to it, but he cannot take the place of the meditation, which is the preparation of the mind for the supreme experience by the yogi himself. No more than the schoolmaster can himself make the study on behalf of his pupils. Nor can the Guru confer the ability to meditate, or for that matter, of liberation itself by an act of his will. For then there would be no need for any practice whatsoever, or for even self-purification. And who would then take all this trouble when a simple request to the Guru would do the trick? Sadhana would then be a mockery and mukti valueless. Moreover, the true Guru is not less than a jivan mukta, one who had divested himself of all personal volition, even prior to his attainment, and when he had become the one self, the absolute Brahman, not only the personal will, but also the vision of multiplicity, of otherness had ceased to exist for him. To ascribe to him, therefore, partiality and discrimination denotes ignorance, if not also disloyalty to him. Yet miracles as acts of his grace do sometimes appear, but these are not brought about consciously and deliberately by the Guru as an individual, but the powers latent in his pure mind mysteriously respond in their own gracious ways, if the prarabdha or destiny of the devotee concerned is favorable. The impulse and desire for meditation have thus to be born inside the spiritual aspirant's own heart, and they are invariably so born when the heart, by long sustained aspirations, has sufficiently blossomed and developed an appreciable degree of detachment, vairagya, and the mind has cooperated with it in a rational sensitivity to truth and in a power of discrimination, viveka. The Guru becomes then extremely valuable, not only as a revealer of the truth and the way to it, but also as an inspiring, purifying, and soothing influence which calms the storm which agitates the hearts not yet turned truly ascetic, and hastening the maturity of meditation into samadhi. The true seeker, the real devotee, goes on plodding with his meditation day in and day out, year in and year out, supplementing it in his free hours with the study of the subject of his meditation, so that his mind may not lie fallow and fall back in its old ruts, or retrospect or incidents, the memory of which does not harm his sadhana. A careful watch has to be kept on the tricks of the memory, which keeps bringing to the present sorrowful and remorseful events and associations, which had better remain buried in the past. Equally distressing is the memory of persons who in their times had left profound marks on the heart and mind. All these recollections have to be guarded against and nipped in the bud the moment they make their appearance. The past, in brief, has to be thrown into limbo to preserve the calm which is necessary for the practice. Once out of the initial darkness, the mind becomes eager to receive concrete directions and hints, which throw some light on its journey in this uncharted land of the spirit, which stretches before it to infinity without landmarks or milestones. We come now to the core of the subject, meditation. What is meditation, and why is it practiced? Meditation is simply the repeated attempt to withdraw one's thoughts from the multitude of objects around and fix them on only one object, the subject, chosen for concentration. We have dealt with restlessness and unhappiness of the unrestrained, diffused mind. Although the mind is said to be fleeter than the wind, fleeter than lightning, and thus uncontrollable, yet by constant practice it slowly bends and acquires quiescence and depth till it reaches the heart, or Atman, the self, which is absolute peace and the mind's own true nature, free from thoughts. This is the true meditation and its aim in this yoga. To those who are unable to choose their own subjects for concentration, the following hints are given. The first, meditation on the nature of being, which is the source and substratum of all thoughts, known in the Shrutis, the scriptures, as the akasha, or ether of consciousness, or the true spiritual heart, and develops an intuition of it, wearing away all the images from the meditating mind, polishing it, and finally revealing it to be the shining sun of knowledge, free from the dark cloud of the phenomena of thoughts that have hitherto been covering it. Its other names are Chaitanya, Atman, Param Atman, pure mind, pure consciousness, supreme self. The Upanishad describes this practice this way. O Shandilya, be happy. Place the self in the midst of the Akasha, and the Akasha in the midst of the self. And having reduced everything to Akasha, do not think. You will not entertain then either internal or external thoughts. Abandoning all thoughts, become abstract thought itself, as camphor dissolves in fire and salt in water. So does mind, the thinking faculty, dissolve in reality, tattva. What is termed mind is the knowledge of everything that is cognized. When this knowledge and the cognized object are alike lost, there is no second path. By giving up all cognition of objects, the mind is absorbed, and being alone remains. It will be observed that this approaches the reality, Sat Chit Ananda, or existence, consciousness, bliss, from its Chit aspect, that is, as consciousness. And we will talk about other methods in the next section.